Hi guys. There's a lot of new people. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming along. I just checked my amount of people. I'm at 237 as of today. So I haven't been proactive about trying to find new subscribers. I just figured that it would happen organically. My channel will grow when it's ready to grow. And in the meantime, I get to learn things. So, welcome to my channel. I tend to ramble. I try to have a topic for videos, but not necessarily follow an outline. Not necessarily do I ever actually make the notes, because it seems like that's the best way for me to not end up making the video. Like, I've got a notebook where I wrote down like topics and outlines for a couple of videos, and I've never made the videos. So part of that is the ADHD. One of the things with ADHD is there's a reason for doing things, and sometimes your reason for doing things unbeknownst to you and anyone around you is not really getting the thing done. It's about learning the thing, or in my case, a lot of the video stuff is just getting the things out of my head. So writing it down on a piece of paper got it out of my head, so I no longer felt the drive to make a video about it. So anyway, so we're like 2 minutes in, rambled about why I don't make videos about things that I've already written about. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about my personal. I have an emergency fund, plus I'm making a rainy day fund, and to me, I think of them as different. I know Dave Ramsey uses, kind of interchangeably. Emergency fund because a rainy day is going to happen. And to me, emergency fund is for when there's like a terrible, catastrophic circumstance that you don't have money set aside for. Like having a car tire blow up, or a chunk of your car fall off, or an emergency airplane trip because somebody in your family is sick or dead, or a pet, fur family gets sick and they need emergency care, things like that. So that's catastrophic circumstances that went above and beyond, especially for people who are doing sinking funds, that went above and beyond what you had a sinking fund for, or your sinking fund wasn't funded all the way yet. But the thing with the emergency fund is that when you do use it, then you know that that's something that you should probably save for. Nobody wants to save for plane tickets to get to funerals, but there could be a spot in your bank account, like a tucked away corner, where, you save an extra $500 specifically for something like that. Anyway, and to me, rainy day fund is like for mental health, sort of, and what do you call that when you feel good about yourself? Self-esteem. So for me, that's what my rainy day fund is about. A few years back, I was diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder. It's gray days in Oregon, which is pretty much February through April, May. There's not enough sunshine, so I have to sit in front of an artificial light to get enough lumens into my eyeballs to trigger some chemical reaction inside of my head that I think that it has to do with your circadian rhythm. Because, like, right now, I wake up so early. I get home at just about midnight. I tend to see 1 o'clock on my alarm clock before I go to bed. Like, it might be like 1:30, 1:40. I don't know. I see the hour. I'm like, oh, it's within the 1 o'clock hour. I need to just shut everything down, close my eyes. And then I wake up at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, because the sun is coming up. And my head is like right behind the camera, so it's like, psh, and then I'm just awake, and like no alarm clocks, no nothing like that, which is good because that means that my brain is waking up on its own. And then on the weekends, I wear an eye mask so that I can get a little bit more time sleeping. I also try to go to bed a little bit earlier, like around 11 or 12, versus going to bed at like the 1 o'clock hour. So for me, my rainy day fund is like, it's kind of like being able to take a mental health day at work, except for it's being able to take a mental health moment outside of my budget. So like, I don't budget for road trips. I don't budget for clothing items. I don't budget for going out and hanging out with people or going to visit people. And that's what my rainy day fund is. So one of the things that they're finding with a lot of the veterans, and if you don't know, I am a veteran. I did 7 years active duty in the Navy. I was part of 7th Fleet for 5 of those years, and yes, 7th Fleet is the Navy that is in Japan, and they've been in the news quite a bit lately for being an overworked fleet. We're doing workups with Marines and air detachments, various Asian countries. We do workups with them. Like, we'll take on their military onto our ships and practice military style landings and things like that with them, with their basically their version of the Air Force, or Navy's got a lot of air planes and helicopters and things like that. Plus, we work with their navies on, I don't know. It's really, really kind of complicated to explain to people. But, like, if you were in it and you were doing it, you're like, oh, duh, this makes sense. But anyway, so one of the things with people that are coming out of the military, one of the big, I think of a spike, but it's like a drop-off problem in the mental health of the veteran community is that we go from having, 300 to 1,000 people that you could be like, hey guys, I would like to go to blah, blah, blah. And there's like 5 other people who had nothing else going on that day, and they're like, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, let's go do it. And when you get out of the military, all of a sudden you've got a lot of people who don't have the same work schedule as you. They don't have disposable income, or you don't have disposable income anymore. And to find people who you can be more like-minded with is a bit harder, because I don't know, it's hard to describe. So to me, my rainy day fund is kind of to help combat that too, that I can just road trip and go visit somebody, or like pull $5 out of my rainy day fund, put it into my gas tank, and drive to see a local friend. I'm out in the country, so pretty much everybody's 10 to 20 miles away from me. So, and that's kind of part of how my rainy day fund is for my mental health versus my emergency fund, which is for catastrophic, unplanned, unforeseen, not fully funded Murphy that happens. So I guess like that's kind of how I always understood the rainy day fund when my grandma talked about it. It was like a way of combating the rainy day in your head. So it might be going and buying some clothes that fit you better, make you feel good about yourself. It might be going out for dinner. It might be, who knows, whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. I know Dave Ramsey talks about emergency fund and rainy day fund as being kind of synonymous with each other. And when I talk about my rainy day fund versus my emergency fund, I just wanted to clarify that to me, they are not the same thing. I might dip into my rainy day fund if there's an emergency, but that money is not set aside for an emergency. I can use it when there is not an emergency. So I just wanted to clarify that. Nobody's asked me about it, but I figured that I would talk about that. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, I've been really terrible about getting back to people. I'm gonna work on that. And that's like one of the things that's on my list of stuff to get done. So is clearing out the raspberry patch, doing my dishes yet again, filing my taxes, you know, all that adult stuff that we also have to do. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but if you have questions or comments or want more clarification, go ahead and put a comment down below. I just have to schedule a day that works, that I can do that on a regular basis, make it part of my weekly schedule. I will work on that. Also, if you would like to email me, it is learningtobeme, all one word, .yt, as in YouTube, learningtobeme.yt at Gmail. And also I started a Facebook page called Learning to Be Me. Has a picture of a white wall with a Swedish fish. I think that's what my profile picture on it is. I don't know. I think so. Anyway, so if you would like to contact me through Facebook, it's just Learning to Be Me on Facebook. Otherwise, if you would like to email me, it is learningtobeme.yt at gmail. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.